Hello everybody and welcome to my YouTube channel, Dream of Crafts. My name is Deanna and today we're going to be working on a project using some more of my 8x8 paper pack collection of Garden Goddess. If you remember, I did a video using the Garden Goddess on this little birdhouse that I created. If you're not aware of that, then you can go ahead to my YouTube channel and watch the video tutorial for this is in there, and one of my favorite pieces that I've done. So today I'm going to try to get at least an hour in. My granddaughter is sleeping right now, so if I have to cut it short, it'll be because of that. But we're going to do a mailbox. Now this mailbox is from the Dollar Tree. It was one of their Christmas ones. And it is, let me give you the measurements here. It is about 7.5 inches long and approximately 4.5 inches tall and about 400 inches wide. So what I've done is I put gesso on the whole thing, and then I went around my edges and I painted it pink, and the pink I used was Anita's Princess Pink, and I've also painted the whole inside because I figured that'd be easier than trying to cover it with paper. I did leave the tab on. We will be covering that, and I'll show you how to get around that. And so yep, everything's painted and prepped. I've also pre-painted a candle stick, wooden candlestick from Hobby Lobby, and also a circle base from Hobby Lobby. They come in a pack, I think, of 4, I think. And it is about the 6 3/8 wide. Then it's just about 1/8 of an inch thick. I've pre-painted the base with Anita's acrylic paint Dew Green. And then the actual candlestick, I add a combination of Anita's Tangerine, the Princess Pink, and then I just did it a couple drops at a time with the Apple Barrel Red Spice, and to come up with this kind of peachy color to coordinate with my paper. So those are the paints that I used. I also spent about 7 hours yesterday working on some various flowers. Now these I cut with my Cricut, and then I took each flower and I pinched it in different directions. And the easy way to do it is to sit this on your scoreboard, score, you know, a variety, flip them over and then score what you left from the other side. So you get 2 different directions there. Some going up, some, and then you just pinch them. You can do it with your thumbnail and pinch it too. I also cut these out with some of my Cricut paper. I used some of the Princess. I used a sheet of this from the Princess Once Upon a Time pack, and this was the Belle of the Ball one. And I also used 2 different Grapic 45 ones. I don't have those sitting here right now, but I will have to. Oh, this was one. I think it's the May. Yeah, the May one. So we have that on the back. And then the other one I will have to show you later because I don't see any of that one sitting here. So I'll have to get that out later. But the one was older paper. It was the May Children's Hour. Okay. So I kind of pre-cut some pieces for us to get started. And because this is going to take more than 8 inches to go over, what I've done is I've selected these from the pack, and we're going to go part way over and then come the other one the other way and actually overlap, but because we're going to be putting flowers and stuff on here, we will be not seeing our line, but I didn't want it continuing in the same directions because it would be upside down on this side. So we're going to run one this way and one this way. Then I've got them pre-marked for my height that I need. So let's just go ahead and trim that down to the proper size there. And one's going to be just a little bit longer than the other so they overlap. I didn't want them to be exactly and butt up against each other. I just kind of pre-marked them. There we go. Don't have to be exact. So as you can see, one will go this way, one will go that way, and we will have a little bit of an overlap. Alright, so now we need our length. Just for this part, we're going to do something else on the cover. So let me get this and mark it with my pencil here. It's the easiest way. It doesn't have to be exact because if you want to see some of that pink, that's fine too. Alright. Line these up here. They both can be the same length. There we go. Alright. So let's go ahead and put some art glitter glue on there. Get this glue down. Oh, is this the one? Oops. Yeah, this is the one I marked for. Hang on, let me get the glue off of this. This is the one I marked for a slit for the other side. So let me go ahead and get this glue off of there so I can let that tack back up. I had marked one so that I could just slice it, put it down around that thing. Like I said, I don't know how far we'll get today. And what I'm going to do on the inside of this is I'm going to do a mini album or a folio type thing. I don't know if it's not going to be a full album, of course. But there we go. Now we're going to bring that like that. Perfect. And they have these, they start putting these out kind of early. And sometimes they have them for other things, but I usually see them at Christmas time. And this one is it's like the chipboard type. And I guess you could use the metal one. I just don't know how well the things would glue onto them. Okay. So now as you can see, I've taken this and I lined it up along the bottom here. And then I took my pencil, and you can feel that little metal post in there. So I took my pencil and I just kind of scribbled around there so I knew exactly where that was. Just like that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run a line up just to that dot for the ribbon, and let's see how we did. I might have to see what happens. Oh, it's pretty wide. I might have to widen that. That's the case. Let's just widen it here where it's not going to be as visible. Okay. I'm just going to snip some of that out there. Just a tiny bit. I want this line to stay thick so that it goes back together without being as visible. I'm hoping anyway. Do it without tearing it. Very tight. Very tight. Good way to do it together, huh? Let me see if I can get that loosened up there a little bit. There we go. It's not so tight. I did try to remove it from the inside. Oh, there it goes. Okay, we got a little rip there, but let's see. There we go. There we go, there we go, there we go. Okay. All right. There we got it. So I'm going to kind of tip this back like this, get some glue in there, and then we'll bring the other glue down. If you can see that, there we go. And I'm just going to go part way, just till we get. All right, we'll put it back up here, just like so. I want to get you down there. Even. Yeah. See, and then that's really not even that noticeable now. So can't even really see that that's. Sorry if my room is so bright today. It's really not. Sun's not shining. We've got really lucky weather. We had snow last night again. In April, of course. It's always fun. And then a couple hours ago, we had like nickel-sized hail. Don't like the weather. Wait, it'll change, right? There we go. Let me see if this will still move. Like I said, I tried to take it. They got it on there with a rivet, and yeah, that looks nice. I thought this would be a pretty one for this. Okay. And then I cut this out from the main sheet here. I just cut that out. And then I also trimmed this part out up here. But instead of just cutting around, I kind of fussy cut around the flowers and stuff there. So we've got this for our front here. So we're going to glue that down. And you can use either side, whatever side you want it. Doesn't really matter. And I just laid this on there, and like I sat it on the paper and then trimmed around it and then cut inside of the line that it left. That's the easiest way to do something like this. And then the back piece, I got this. And I'm not sure if I want to use this one or that one. You know, maybe we'll go with this one and then put some decorative things on there, just to keep it nice and simple there. So busy. Everything gets so busy. Like I said, I spent, I want to say about, I thought it was close to 7 hours yesterday just cutting out flowers and getting them ready and prepping them, and it's time consuming, but you end up with the colors you want. And I do have lots of Prima flowers and stuff, the pre-made ones, and I did have those sitting out there, and I don't know, we might use some. I also got out some of my little roses, and I got some of these. They kind of remind me of, oh, I don't remember the name of those flowers, but anyway, they're nice and tall, and these are like velvet. But I got those from AliExpress. Alright, so we got our back, our front. And what I've decided to do on the sides is I've cut from the strips that are in here. From these, I've cut these 2 strips. I ended up cutting from 2 pages because I want it to run the lengthwise continuously. And I cut these at 1 inch. And I thought for the top, that would be, because I'm not going to put, I don't think, any embellishments on that. I'm hoping that this will conceal pretty good as one continuous, it'll look like one continuous strip, I'm hoping. So we're going to run it. It's got a couple little seams running along there too. I thought that would be good. Here we go. Just like that. Yeah, that looks nice. Okay. That looks nice on there. And then we're just going to start it again right there, butt those right up against each other. And hopefully it won't look too, and then when we get down to the bottom, well, maybe I should cut it now. Let me see here. Here we go. Jet. And let's say right there. Okay. This goes pretty good together. Now the album, I thought those little flip albums, I thought would look cute in here, because we don't have that much height in there. So I thought maybe one of those little flip albums would look good in there. There, and that's not too noticeable. Looks like it continues right on. It's not obvious. I don't think unless you knew that you'd pick it out that much. Okay. Now for the bottom, I cut this piece. And what I'm going to do, because it's narrow, we're going to run 2 strips along the side. This was a slice off of here from the back, so it wasn't quite wide enough, but I want to use up my scraps, because right now this is my scraps. Oops, this is my scraps right now. I got one little, I'll show you what I've got for scraps at this time. This is it. This is what I've got for scraps right now out of all these things, so pretty happy with that. And I think we'll be able to get our share, we'll be able to get this out of there too. So what we're going to do is we're going to glue this down, and let's do this as the bottom here, and we'll glue it kind of in the middle, and then we'll just run a couple extra strips along the side there to cover that up, because it is the bottom. It's not going to be as noticeable. Alright, and I kind of folded it where it's got a fold there. Cut the length. And try to center that. Here we go, just like that. And before I open it, I'm going to let that dry really good so I don't mess with the glue. And then let's figure out what our strips are going to be there. I guess you could leave it too. No one's going to see it really. But I did have this strip left, and it is the 8 inches. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut 2 small strips out of this, and we'll glue these on the side there. So let's see how big that is. That looks like, yeah, I'm going to leave this on because I want to use that as my holder, but I think we've got, yeah, about 1/2 inch. So let's do 1/4 inch. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, yeah. I think that's about 1/4 inch there. Slide it up, okay. 1/4 inch there. And see, that leaves me something to hang on to when I trim. 1/4 inch there. There we go. We can throw that away. Oops, and I see we got just a little edge on there yet, so let's just hand trim that. Or is that going to be visible? Yeah, a little bit. Just a little bit of edge there, so let's just trim that off so it's not visible. I hope you can hear me. My craft room is right next to the bedroom that the baby is sleeping in, so try to keep it down a little bit. I know I had one lady say that she couldn't hear me one day, but when I listened to it and I had my volume up, I could hear fine, but you know, it just all depends on your devices, I guess, too, maybe. Okay, I'm just going to glue that down and we'll snip it off at the end. And then even though it's underneath, it still has a finished look, which makes it nice. And you're going to take the time to do it. Take a couple extra seconds and give it a finished look. Right? I want a little bit of that pink showing. There we go. I'm going to let that sit, tack up a little bit. We'll put this side on. There we go. There. So you see, we got this whole thing covered already. Isn't that nice? It didn't take that long. Of course, it's pre-cut, so that does save me some time, but if you have a different size box or anything like that, then you know it ain't gonna do me any good to sit there and measure with you. And for most of it, I just sat it on there, drill around it, and cut it. Except for this piece and this piece, you know, and that was just the length that I needed and how high I want to go up. So there, it's completely covered. Now what I'm going to do later is I'm going to probably use E6000. Well, I might be able to hot glue it now and glue that on there. But I think, because I'm going to be pushing on it and stuff, I think I'm going to do some of my decorating on here prior to gluing it down. And of course we're going to do some things on the base. I did cut this out with my Cricut, and it's just like a vine, and I actually attached 3 together and welded them on my Cricut. And I had my paper kitty corner, so it didn't cut that one. So what I thought I'd do was just hot glue this around here like a vine. So let's go ahead and do that. That can set up then. Shh, that'll wake up a baby, right? And there's glue squeezing out, but that doesn't bother me right this second because we're going to be covering this too. So that little bit of glue squeezed out does not bother me right this second. It's going to be in a visible area, that's one thing, but I think by the time we get some flowers added around there. Now I don't want it tight. I want it kind of loose. So we're just going to go and tack it here and there, just so it kind of stays in place. Tack the thing, not the fingers. Okay. Oh, yeah. All right. So we're going to end it here, and I will continue from here in another video. I'm glad you dropped in, and stay tuned. If you like my videos, please consider subscribing to my channel. And if you do subscribe, please hit that bell so that you can be notified every time I put up a new video. And a thumbs up is always appreciated. Again, thanks for joining me today, and I hope you have a nice rest of your day. Thank you.